June 5th, 2017, the date that I uploaded my first ever YouTube video. It was a gaming video. During that time, I was a Call of Duty addict, so of course I've uploaded a video of me destroying everyone in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which was, by the way, one of my favorite Call of Duties I ever played. Before I ever uploaded my first ever video, I did a lot of research on it. I was researching things on mics, on software to use, and on how I was going to even record my PlayStation screen, which I had no idea how to do. It was all very new and confusing to me, but fun at the same time. I stressed about what mic I was going to use, what Elgato I was going to buy, and even what computer I was going to use, because back then I didn't even have a computer. I ended up buying a snowball microphone and old Elgato that I got from Amazon that, I'm not even going to lie, had shitty quality, and I ended up using my mom's old computer that she hadn't used in I don't even know how long. I mean, it was kind of old already at that point, but I was just using what I had to my disposal. I wasn't going to go and buy an expensive computer just to upload my first ever video. I really had no idea what I was doing. The quality of the video, I'm not going to lie, was not that good. And when it came down to recording, it just got even more stressful, because I'm not gonna lie, during that time I had no idea that editing was a thing. Like, I literally, back then, I was so naive. I literally thought that YouTubers just said their intro and just recorded their video all in one take. I didn't know that they actually edited and cut up certain parts of the video whenever they messed up. And so because of that thinking that I had back then, I thought that I needed to record my whole video in one take. And so I would record my video, make mistakes, and then start it over again. I did it so many countless times that I lost count of how many times I recorded my first ever video. Finally, when I got the perfect intro done, which I thought it was perfect during that time, I was so hyped. I uploaded the video and I thought to myself during that time, this is it. I literally thought that this video was gonna like blow up or something like that. I don't know. I was so naive during that time. I was so naive, but excited at the same time. The video ended up getting only 28 views. I wasn't sad or down, because those 28 views actually meant a lot to me. Like, it was actually a lot to me during that time, because in my mind, I'm thinking I'm just a like dumb kid during that time who's just recording a gaming video, has no type of like script or anything like that. I'm just recording and just saying dumb stuff. You know, I'm a young teenager, and the fact that 28 people saw my video, that was like an accomplishment to me. Even though I got stressed over the equipment and the recording process, it was the most fun that I had in a while. I mean, I really had fun playing video games, but to record it and to upload it, that was extremely fun to me. I started coming up with video ideas, and I'm not gonna lie, some of them were really corny, but I had a lot of fun recording them. I realized now that the reason why it was so fun, despite sometimes being stressful because I had no idea what I was doing, is because it was the first time that I had ever created anything. I got a taste of what being a creator is like, and ever since then, I've been hungry for building and creating things. It is human nature to want to build. We are meant to build. The most miserable of people are those who are living passively, consuming constantly, and producing nothing. Back in the day, our great-great-great-grandparents, our ancestors, spent most of their time creating and building things. Crafting tools, making clothes, forging weapons, growing their own food, constructing entire communities from the ground up. They were active creators, shaping their environment and their futures with their own hands. Those who didn't actively build or create anything and instead lived passively were the ones who survived the least back then. If you look at every human investment, it came from someone who decided to build. The most fulfilled people who are walking this earth right now spend most of their time building, creating, or producing something. They are playing sports instead of just watching them. They are learning how to play instruments instead of just listening to music. They are building a business instead of just being a customer. They are producing instead of just consuming. The opiate of the masses today is excessive consumption. People are spending most of their time consuming and not producing or building anything, and it is no wonder why the depression rates continue to increase more and more as time goes on. Modern society now is built to keep you in a consumer state. There's an abundance of resources now that, if you don't know how to use, will keep you in a distracted consumer state. These things are meant to distract you and to take advantage of your energy and especially your attention. Once you become a producer, you will experience more freedom in your life. You will not only never go back, but you will experience a more richer and fulfilling life. You're bored and you're unfulfilled because you're not building anything. But after watching this video, you'll go from being on the sidelines watching others build and live more richer lives to now being in the action and building and creating something meaningful, which will lead you to living a happy and fulfilling life. The first step to switching sides from consuming to producing is to start building and creating something. If you continue to spend most of your time consuming and living passively, you'll continue to live an unfulfilling life, wondering if there is more to life than this. You need to start building and creating something. It's simple, but most people find it hard to do. Reason being because most people don't actually know what it is they want to create or build right now. I mean, back in the days, our ancestors, most of it when it came to building and creating had to do with survival. I mean, it had to do with building tools and weapons to survive, building forts and etc. But now now, we don't need to do those things. I mean, you can definitely go ahead and build buildings and go into construction, right? But nowadays, you don't necessarily need to go into construction to get a feeling of what building is like. Nowadays, we have so many resources that we can literally build and create anything, even from the comfort of our own home. But don't worry, because if you are in that position where you want to build, but you have no idea what it is to build, I have the solution for you right now. Let's go back to when I uploaded my first ever video. My first video was a gaming video, but before I ever made that video, I would spend most of my time consuming videos that has to do with gaming. I would spend most of my time watching Call of Duty videos, Call of Duty zombie survival videos, and I had the most fun watching that type of content. Figuring out what I was going to create wasn't hard for me because I just looked at what it is that I consumed the most, which was gaming videos, specifically Call of Duty videos. So I started creating gaming videos, specifically Call of Duty videos. Boxing was another one of my interests and passions, and so one day I decided to make a video on my channel reviewing Power Hand striking gloves, which were gloves that I used during that time that were meant to improve speed and power. The solution is simple: start building and creating something that you already consume a lot of. If you check my YouTube channel right now, I don't upload gaming videos anymore. It's all about self-improvement. One day I discovered self-improvement and I started reading books about it, I started watching videos about it, and I started implementing the things that I learned from those books and videos, and I experienced improvement in my own life. That's when I decided to create videos around self-improvement. Look at your feed on every social media. What niche do you consume the most? On YouTube, what type of videos do you watch? Once you discover what your primary interests are, start creating around those areas of interest. If you enjoy writing, you could become a writer, write books, or become a copywriter helping businesses. If you love fitness, document your workouts and share it. Create around the areas that you are already drawn to. That's how you switch from being a constant passive consumer to a producer. Now, even though you need to be building and producing, that doesn't mean that you need to stop consuming altogether. The real problem isn't consumption itself. The real problem is when you are a passive consumer. You scroll on social media with no intention other than to cure your boredom. You mindlessly binge watch shows, eat junk food for comfort, and shop for the dopamine hit rather than necessity. You play video games to escape and consume self-improvement content without ever taking action. You need to become an active consumer. Basically, consume with intention. Scroll on social media to learn, not just to pass time. Watch educational videos to gain new skills. Read books that bring life-changing wisdom. Listen to podcasts that give a new perspective. Follow inspirational people on social media. Social media can literally be free mentorship when you follow the right people. Go on all of your social medias and unfollow all of the distractions and start following motivational, inspirational people and pages. Read self-improvement books that fix a certain area in your life that you want to fix, and then apply what you learned from that book. Take notes on valuable information and take action as fast as possible. Now, don't get me wrong, there are going to be times where you consume passively. I'm not saying that you need to every single day actively consume and you're on social media trying to see, how to implement certain things. Like, obviously there's going to be times where you passively consume. We're all human. We all spend some times watching a movie or just scrolling mindlessly or whatever, but just make sure that the time that you do passively consume is very little compared to the time that you actively consume, and that you are producing something meaningful. Now, you probably are thinking up until this point, yeah, Brian, this whole building and creating things sounds cool, but that's only for the lucky ones who have time. I work a regular job and have bills to pay. This ain't for me, bruh. I get it. Not everyone has an entire day to themselves. You have to spend most of your day working a job and paying bills and just handling responsibilities that you cannot avoid or ignore. But ask yourself this: is this what life will be for me forever? A miserable 9-to-5 job, endless bills to pay, and waking up every morning wishing life were different? Like, is this what you want forever for the rest of your life? Your life doesn't have to stay that way. I'm willing to bet that you have at least 1 free hour in your day that you could use to build or create something. If you actually think you don't have any time at all in your day, then go on your phone settings and check your screen time. If it's more than 1 hour and most of it is on social media and entertainment apps in general, then you do have time. The problem in most cases is not a lack of time, it's a lack of prioritization and time management. And it is in these situations when time blocking comes into play. Now, the purpose of time blocking is to block a specific time in your day to do a certain task. Time blocking is going to help you find pockets of free time in your day and use those times to create and build something without getting distracted. If you analyze any high performer, they all use time blocking in their day. They know how valuable their time is, and they know that they can't get it back, so they can't waste any of it because they only have a finite amount of time. And so they time block their days to do certain tasks so that they could take the most advantage that they can of their time. I time block my day every single day to make sure that I use my time as effectively as I can so that I don't waste it like I used to before, when I wouldn't time block and I just did things whenever I felt like it. I would actually recommend that you use Notion Calendar or Google Calendar. I use Notion Calendar, but you can use either one of those. It doesn't matter as long as you have a tool that you can use to time block your whole day. Now, analyze a typical day of yours from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep. In the calendar that you decide to use, block out time for mandatory tasks that you gotta do, like going to work, eating, showering, etc. The rest of the time that you have left is gonna be your free time. You might be left with 3 hours of free time, or you just might be left with 1 hour. Use that time that you have free, whether it's 3 hours, 4 hours, or even an hour, to build and create something of yours. It could be in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night. Honestly, it doesn't even matter as long as it gets done. That hour of building and creating something will compound over time, and your future self will eventually thank you. This is how you're going to find time to build and create something despite having a tough schedule. Now, if you want to get rid of the stress of unorganized tasks and you want to be more productive and more effective with your time, then use the daily levers, which is something that I created and I actually use every single day. It gives me a boost in motivation, productivity, and clarity, and lets me know what I will time block in my day. If you want to get the daily levers, go ahead and get it down below. It is 100% free. Time literally stops for no one. We are 1 month into 2025 and it literally feels like time is flying. Many people are making time their enemy instead of their ally. They waste it on distractions, procrastination, and mindless consumption, and then wonder why they feel stuck. But I don't want that to be you. And so for that reason, I have a challenge for you. Build for an entire year. Build your body, build your mind, build your idea, build your skills, build your business, build a meaningful project. And by the end of 2025, see how much progress you made. I guarantee you'll make enough progress to continue to want to build. And even if you reach the end of 2025 not making as much progress as you would have liked, as fast as you would have liked, you'll feel fulfilled. There is a sense of control and freedom and fulfillment that comes the moment you start building and creating something. This is how you not only kill boredom, but kill a miserable life, which we all despise and we all shouldn't be living, or at least wanting to live in the future. Your fulfilling life is waiting for you, and it starts the moment you stop being a spectator and you start building. I'm not gonna lie, I have a feeling that you're gonna be building something amazing this year. I don't know what that is, but I know that you have an idea of what that is after watching this video. And so hopefully you start building this year, and I can't wait to see what that is. But let me get one thing straight. There's no point in doing all of this if you're gonna give up the moment things get hard. When you get home from work and choose distractions instead of building. When you decide to sleep in instead of using that 1 hour free time that you have in your day to build. And that's why I created this video right here, where I'll show you how to lock in this 2025 and do the hard things even when you don't feel like it. Check out that video. I really do think it's gonna help you out a lot. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. I'm out.